Hello students. So today in this class we will be learning about the different memory types and models in 8051C, as well as pointers, memory type like typed and untyped pointers, then time delay generation using loops, arithmetic, as well as the logic operators which are used in 8051 embedded C. Right. So beginning with the memory models available in 8051C. So the memory models which are available in 8051C are small, compact and large. So small, it is a default memory model. So the programs which use the small memory model, okay, so the programs which are using the small memory model, they allow the fastest access time. By default, all variables reside in the internal data memory, right? Then we have the second memory model like compact. So in compact memory model, all the variables by default they reside in the first page of the external data memory. Means each page consists of 256 bytes. Then we have the third memory model, which is a large. So the variables in large memory model use the external data memory, and the external data memory can range eh, up to 64 kilobytes. So depending upon the memory or the availability, or depending upon the type of your program, okay, so any of these three memory models have to use either small, compact or large. So if it is a small memory model, okay, so it allows the fastest access time, because whatever the variables which have been declared or which have been defined in the program, they reside in the internal data memory. If it is compact, then the variables by default they reside in the first page of the external data memory, and each page consists of 256 bytes. Means a group of 256 bytes is taken as one page. So in case of compact, the variables which have been defined or declared, the variable resides in the first page, that is the initial 256 bytes of memory. Then if it is defined as large, then the variables they use again the external data memory, and the external data memory can be anywhere in the range of 64 kilobytes, right? Then we have the memory type specifiers which are available in 8051C. The memory type specifiers in 8051C are code. So it is used to specify a variable which resides in code memory and has a range of up to 64 kilobytes. For example, if you take it as character code X, okay, then we have equal to the string welcome. So this variable, it declares the character array X. Means X is a variable of type character in the code memory. Means whatever the variable has been defined, character, okay, that is a type declaration. Code means whatever the variable X is there, where that variable it has to reside, in which memory it has to reside, whether in the data memory or in the code memory. So in this case, if it is defined as code, then the variable defined as X will reside in the code memory. Then we have the second data type like data. In this case, the variable resides in the internal data memory, that is having the address range from 00 to 7F of 8051. For example, if it has been defined as unsigned, int stands for unsigned integer data I. In that case, I is a variable of type unsigned integer. I is a variable of type unsigned integer, right? And the variable which has been defined, it will be reserved or allotted the memory location in the internal data memory having the address from 00 to 7F. Then you have the next type specifier like idata. For 8052 and other variants with the internal data memory of 256 bytes, the specified idata is used, but idata is slower than data because it is addressed indirectly. Okay, so it is used in higher versions like 8051, 8052. Okay, so idata it can't be used in your 8051, right? Then we have the b data. B data is used to specify the variable which resides in the bit addressable. B stands for bit. Okay. So if you want to specify a variable which resides in the external data memory, then the type specifier used, it has to be b data, that is bit data. Okay, and the variable can reside anywhere in the memory location having the address from 20 to 2f. Example bit, that is a variable bit. Okay, type declaration b data my bit. My bit is a user defined variable name. So my bit is a variable of type bit, and it will be reserved the internal data memory, or it will be reserved one bit of memory in the internal bit addressable memory, that is having the address from 20 to 2f. Then you have the next variable like type declaration like x data. X data is used to specify a variable which resides in the external data memory. X stands for external. Example, unsigned character x data num. Num is a variable and unsigned character is a type declaration. X data, okay, it informs that this variable, type specify this variable num, okay, which is of type unsigned integer, it has to reside in the external data memory. Okay, then you have p data. So if the variable resides in the external memory, it is declared as p data, that is your nothing but your program data. Then it resides in the first page, that is 256 bytes of the external data memory. So depending upon your type specifier, wherever variable has to reside, okay, the appropriate type specifier has to be used, like code data, I data, x data, or p data, right? Next you have pointers in C. When programming in 8051 assembly language, registers R0, R1 and DPTR are used as pointers. Means already we say that R0 and R1, okay, they are used as a memory pointers to access or to hold any address of the internal data memory. And DPTR, that is a 16-bit register which is available for the programmer, right, to access the data from the external data memory. Means DPTR is used to hold the address of the external data memory, whereas R0 and R1 are used to hold the address of the internal data memory. Means just simple, we can say R0 and R1, they can act as a memory pointer, means they can hold the address of your internal memory, whereas DPTR can hold the address of the external memory, right? Means R0, R1 and DPTR, they are used as the memory pointers, right? Means we can say R0, R1 and DPTR, they are used as the pointers, right? Means they can hold the address, they can act as a memory pointers, right? In 8051C, pointer variables are used to store the address of the data. Okay, so as normally we say that is nothing but your pointers, no need of any confusions. Like, so pointers is nothing but your indirect addressing mode. Indirect addressing mode. So normally if you have the registers like R0 and R1, right, either they can be used to hold the data, or the content of these registers, they can act as the memory address. So in case of 8051C, the pointer is declared as, okay, data type, then we have the asterisk, then the name of the pointer. For example, int stands for integer, right? Then we have the symbol like asterisk which denotes your pointer m, right? So here the data type refers to the data type that the pointer is pointing to, means which type of data it holds, and the asterisk symbol denotes that the variable, whatever the variable is there, for example m, okay, it is a pointer name, means now the content of your m, it will be treated as the address, right? Then you have coming to the next one like pointer memory types. So while declaring pointers, we can specify different types of memory area that the pointer is pointing to, like for example int data asterisk m. Okay, this specifies that the pointer variable star m asterisk m, okay, is pointing to internal data memory. Data is the type specifier. Int, okay, is a type declaration which type of variable it holds, your variable holds, like integer. Okay, data is a type specifier. Okay, asterisk m, it will be acting as a pointer, right? So m is acting as a pointer. Okay, and data in type specifier indicates that whatever the pointer is there, it is pointing to the internal data memory. Okay, then coming to the next one, that is your typed pointers, right? The pointer typed pointer declaration, where the data memory model data memory type is specified is called as type pointers, and the size of the typed pointers depends upon the data memory type. Either it could be 1 byte or it 2 bytes, right? For example, unsigned integer asterisk x data num, right? Then we have the second one like untyped pointers. The data memory type is not specified explicitly in the data declaration. Then the pointer variable is called untyped pointers. So in this type, data may reside in any type of memory. The advantage is that they can be used to point to any data independent of the type of memory in which the data is stored. Untyped pointers use 3 bytes of memory in which the first byte refers to the data memory type. Second and third byte are higher and lower order bytes of address. Untyped pointers are slower because the data memory type is not determined until the execution time. So if you compare both the things like typed and untyped pointers, right? So in case of typed pointers, the data type specifier, the data memory type is specified in the statement, whereas in case of untyped pointers, the data memory type is not specified in the statement, right? Instead of that, okay, for example, if you take it as unsigned character star m, so depending upon your address, whether it may be your okay, whatever the type specifier is there, it will be recognized only when the instruction is executed. Okay, coming to the next one, that is delay generation in C. So when running a program on 8051 microcontroller, the time between execution of two instructions is few microseconds. So normally we say the time required for one machine cycle, okay, it depends upon the operating frequency, and normally if we take the operating frequency as 12 megahertz, then we can say the time required for one machine cycle is 1 microseconds. Okay, that is the thing we said, the time required between execution of two instructions is a few microseconds. Hence, when the values on a port are changed continuously, then in a fraction of a second all the values will be displayed. So if some delay is required between the occurrence of two events, then a specific time delay has to be created, which can be done by two different methods. One is by writing a delay program by using some looping structures like for or while, or the second method by using the on-chip 8051 timers. Either they can be used in the polling mode or they can be used in the interrupt mode. Means whatever the delay which has to be generated, it can be done by two methods, either by using some dummy instructions or by performing some work, some unuseful work, like having some looping structures like for or while, or by using the inbuilt timers. Either the timers can be used in the polling mode or they can be used in the interrupt mode, right? So the delay program written using assembly language program using registers. Okay, so by writing assembly language, it can be done by using some of the registers, setting some counters, then okay, checking the content of your counters by using instructions such like DJ and decrement jump if no zero. So the programs or the statements or the delay programs which are written in assembly language, they provide the exact time delay which can be calculated by counting the number of machine cycles, right? For example, we have the instructions like move or not comma hash 10h, that is the immediate addressing mode. 10h is a constant value which is in hexadecimal, right? Here is a user defined label. DJNZ, decrement jump if no zero. So in this case, okay, 10 in hexadecimal stands for 16. Okay, alright. Okay, so whatever the content of your or not is there, so each time when this DJNZ instruction is executed, decrement jump if no zero, first the content of your or not will be decremented. Or not will be decremented. After decrementing it, the content of your or not will be tested. The content of or not will be tested. If all the bits of your or not, if they are not equal to 0, then the branch will be made to the labeled instruction, that is here. Again it comes back. So repeatedly until your R0 becomes 0, this statement will be executed, right? So the first instruction takes 2 machine cycles. Move R0 comma 10h, it requires 2 machine cycles. The second instruction, okay, for example if I take it as 10, second instruction djnz, it will be executed 2 into 10 times, right? So djnz here, again it requires 2 machine cycles, and this instruction will be executed 10 times, okay, until your R0 becomes 0. So with 2 into 20, I can say it as 20 machine cycles. So the total number of machine cycles required to execute both these instructions, so first instruction it requires 2 machine cycles, second instruction is executed 10 times, and during each execution it requires 20 machine 10 times, it requires 2 machine cycles, that is equal to 20. So 2 plus 20 equal to 22. So to execute these two instructions it requires 22 machine cycles, and the time required for one machine cycle is, okay, so if your 8051 is operating at 11.0592 megahertz, so one machine cycle consists of 12 clock pulses. So the time required for one machine cycle will be about 1.085 microseconds. The time taken by for one machine cycle is 1.085 microseconds, right? Therefore the total delay generated is 22 machine cycles into 1.085 microseconds, 1.085 microseconds, right? Whereas in case of your 8051C, right, so just by using the statements like for I equal to 0, that is the initialization, I less than 1275, right, that is a conditional statement, right, I plus plus post increment, right? So if I am using the conditional statement and comparing the value 1275, right, so this for loop will create a delay of 1 milliseconds, right? Whatever statement you have, it will create a delay of 1 milliseconds by using the for loop, right? Then you have the conventional arithmetic as well as logical operators which are available in 8051C. So coming to the first one, that is your arithmetic operators, right? So we have the basic arithmetic operators for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and modulus, right? So this symbol plus, it indicates addition, right? The dash indicates subtraction, that is a minus b. Then the asterisk, it indicates multiplication, a into b. Then the forward slash, it acts as a division, a divided by b. After dividing a by b, okay, the value returned will be the quotient will be returned, right? It will return the value which is the quotient, right? Then the percentage symbol, in case of 8051C, the percentage symbol is treated as a modulo operator, right? A mod b, a mod b. So in this case it will perform the division operation, and the remainder of the division will be sent as a return value, right? Then you have the logical operators like and, or, as well as not, a and b, a or b and not of a, complement of a. Then we have the bitwise logical operators, the symbol and, the single and, or, not and XOR. And basically in case of your programming, AND operator, it is used to mask certain bits. Always your AND operator, it follows the truth table of the AND gate. If any one of the bit, either A or B, if any one of the bit is 0, then the bit in the result will be equal to 0. Where if both the bits are 1, then the bit in the result will be equal to 1. So basically, or mainly, the AND operator in case of programming, it is used to mask certain bits, right? OR operator, it is used to set certain bits. NOT operator, it is used to toggle the pin status, or it is used to toggle the bits. And XOR operator, it is used to reset a bit or clear a value or toggle, right? So XOR operator, again it follows the truth table of your XOR gate. If A and B, if they are unequal, if the bit A and B, if they are unequal, either 0 1 or 1 0, then the bit in the result will be equal to 1. If A and B are equal, either 0 0 or 0 XORed with 0 is equal to 0, or 1 XORed with 1 is equal to 0, right? So the main function of your logical operators, it is used to mask, set, toggle or clear the bits. Okay, thank you.